Controversial social media posts by a Texas Tech professor that led to his suspension are stirring up headlines and members of the Texas Tech community. Coming up, we'll have the details and latest developments in this continuing story.
With spring break just around the corner, students are packing bags and getting ready to leave the hub city. Coming up, we'll show you how one department offered a free event to make sure Red Raiders hit the highways safely.
Midterms may be coming to an end this week, but one of the busiest times of the year is about to kick into high gear after students return from the break. Find out how one professor used some extra time to help students master their schedules and manage mid-semester stress.
And if you're hanging around campus this weekend, Tech Athletics is looking for support as two rivals head to town to take on the Red Raiders on the court and on the diamond. MCTV's Nathan Boles has previews of Tech men's basketball and baseball, along with a full rundown of all the upcoming athletic action in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Austin Laden.
And I'm Luke Johnson. A Texas Tech professor in the College of Education is on paid leave today as the university investigates potential discriminatory harassment in the classroom.
The suspension was officially announced earlier this week after a statement from university administrators was released to the media. At approximately 3 p.m. on Monday, Texas Tech released a joint statement from University President Lawrence Skuvanek and System Chancellor Ted Mitchell. The statement begins by stating that Assistant Professor Jero Funes Flores posted comments to social media that were found to be, quote, hateful, anti-Semitic, and unacceptable to TTU leadership. The release states that Dr. Funes Flores' comments go against Tech's values and that lack of action by university could potentially result in a violation of Title VI of the U.S. Civil Rights Act of 1964. The statement goes on to say that Dr. Funes Flores is currently suspended with pay until an investigation by the Office of Equal Opportunities is completed. The OEO's focus will be to, quote, investigate whether any of the anti-Semitic sentiments expressed by Professor Funes' social media comments have found their way into the classroom or work environment and are deemed to be a discriminatory harassment. The statement continues by stating that the university will take further action if any harassment is discovered, but there will be no additional comments from Texas Tech personnel until the investigation is completed.
Monday's suspension of Dr. Funes Flores occurred several weeks after a conservative website called Texas Scorecard published an online article regarding the professor. The article, titled Texas Tech Professor Publicly Expresses Anti-Semitism, appeared on February 22nd and used several social media posts by Funes Flores to call out his views of the Israeli-Hamas conflict. The article does not accuse the professor of using his statements from social media in the classroom, but it does use several interviews and Texas Tech's own code of ethical conduct to call for the university to take action. Monday's statement from Skuvanek and Mitchell does not reference the Texas Scorecard article, but the article does state that the website reached out to Texas Tech for comment. Dr. Funes Flores is very active on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Funes Flores has over 50,000 followers, with many expressing support following his suspension. Dr. Funes Flores has also addressed the situation on social media, including a post to X just yesterday that included a photo of Skuvanek and Mitchell and a reference to his tweets. At the top, Funes Flores included a quote from a Houston Chronicle article that ended by saying, quote, he would not change a word. In response to the professor's suspension, a student group called Students for Justice in Palestine planned a protest to take place late this afternoon at the administration building. The protest was announced via their Instagram account and encourages members to speak out against the suspension of Dr. Funes Flores. Students for Justice in Palestine was organized last fall, and the group has held several protests during the fall and earlier this year in January.
In other news, the spring break holiday officially starts in just over 24 hours, and many members of the community will be hitting the highways as they head out of town. With that in mind, one campus department held an annual event to make sure students, faculty, and staff travel safely during the break. Transportation and Parking Services held the spring edition of their free car clinic yesterday afternoon in the Commuter West parking lot. During the event, students, faculty, and staff could bring their cars by the north side of the TV tower to get a basic tune-up by local mechanics from Scott's Complete Car Care. The car clinic started at 10:30 yesterday morning, and by 11 a.m., dozens of vehicles formed a line spread across Commuter West. Along with the checkout, attendees could also enjoy some other free perks, including hot dogs, sodas, and bottled water. After the tune-up, drivers also had a chance to enter a drawing for a popular prize.
So we have a barcode that they can scan, and then we also shared it on Facebook that if they scan that, we're doing the e-parking pass and a chance to win that.
TPS hosts free car clinics during the fall and spring semesters each year. The next car clinic is scheduled to take place in the fall before Thanksgiving, providing the tech community another chance to make sure their vehicle is in top shape before heading out onto the roads.
It may be hard to believe, but once students return from spring break, there are only 6 more weeks left in the semester. And for students who haven't lined up their plans for the summer, an annual event was held yesterday to provide some unique options for temporary employment. The University Career Center hosted the annual Summer Camp Job Fair yesterday in the sub courtyard. The fair started at 11 a.m., giving students interested in finding a summer job or internship a chance to stop by and visit with representatives from camps around Texas and nearby states. The event featured many options from religious and adventure camps for opportunities to help out with summer programs here on campus.
Today we had over 40 camps show up, and it's for undergraduate and graduate students. We're trying to get them connected for these summer jobs so that they can either go into like a mentorship role for kids or be creative leaders depending on what role they take in the summer camps.
Yesterday's Summer Camp Job Fair wrapped up at around 2 p.m. The event is held each spring and organized by the University Career Center. The UCC hosts dozens of events each school year, and one of their biggest is coming up right after spring break. The spring edition of the Higher Red Raiders Job Fair is scheduled for Wednesday, March 20th. The fair will take place from noon to 4 p.m. and representatives from more than 80 businesses and organizations will be available in the sub-ballroom. The Higher Red Raiders Job Fair will feature all industries providing options for students of any major. For more information on the Higher Red Raiders Job Fair and all of the remaining UCC events for this year, visit careercenter.tcu.edu.
It's been a very mild week here on the Texas Tech campus, with some great conditions allowing students to enjoy some more outdoor activities.
This week's weather would have been great for spring break, but will those staying in the Lubbock area continue to see similar conditions this weekend? Weather specialist Elisabeth Herring has a look at what to expect heading into the holiday in today's MCTV forecast. Elisabeth?
Well, you're very right. The weather has been beautiful here at Texas Tech, starting off the week with highs in the 70s. Today, looking a lot similar. We have some beautiful, partly cloudy skies and highs mostly in the 70s and upper 60s across the South Plains area. This is about as warm as it's going to get today. Definitely some gorgeous weather. And that's going to continue until tonight. We do get a cold front in the area that's going to drop temperatures. Tomorrow's highs in the 50s and 40s across the South Plains, dropping again below freezing. Most of the South Plains reaching below freezing. Friday night moving into Saturday, again another chilly day with highs in the 50s and 40s across the South Plains. We did see a few drizzles here this morning in the South Plains area that did move out by the late afternoon, and it looks like as we move into tonight that should clear up. However, we do have a cool front moving down into the area tonight. It won't bring any precipitation into the South Plains area, but it will definitely drop temperatures significantly. As we move into Saturday and Sunday, those conditions should remain clear for the South Plains area. However, some students are traveling home today and tomorrow for spring break, and just know that we do have some rain in the area if you are traveling. Some rain in the Dallas and Abilene area today. That's going to continue on into tonight, kind of going in and out. Tomorrow afternoon, some rain still hanging out in the Dallas area and in the Lubbock area as well. After Friday, though, as we move on into Saturday, into Sunday, and into early next week, those conditions should remain clear. Just know that if you are on the road today or tomorrow, we could potentially see some wet road conditions. As we go into tonight, we're not cooling off quite yet under freezing. We're just going to stay in the 40s and upper 30s across the South Plains today. Snyder low of 47, Turkey low of 43, Demet low of 37, Morton low of 39. That cool front moving in later, and that's going to impact tomorrow's temperatures. Notice there's not much of a difference between tonight's lows and tomorrow's highs. Snyder high of 55, Turkey high of 48. Demet high of 44, Morton high of 46, and we will see some breezy winds tomorrow, so just know that that wind can make those temperatures feel a little bit cooler as you step out the door. Tonight here locally in Lubbock, low of 43. Tomorrow, high of 49 again. We'll see some significant breezy conditions, those winds coming from the north making it feel a little bit chillier. As we move on into the weekend, Saturday looks like that sun's going to come back out with a high of 56. Sunday remaining sunny with a high of 66. Monday, if you're staying in town for spring break, it looks like it's a great start to the holiday. Monday, high of 74 and sunny conditions. Tuesday and Wednesday, highs in the upper 70s as well. Thursday, cooling off a little bit, but staying with highs in the lower 70s. Sunday is the time change, so just keep in mind to move your clocks forward an hour. I'm Elizabeth, and I hope everyone has safe travels on spring break. Austin and Luke, it's back to y'all.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The local events calendar is starting to slow down as the start of spring break approaches, but there's been plenty of options leading up to the holiday. This past weekend, a popular monthly event featured a full schedule of activities, including a special performance by one of the Texas Tech's most spirited groups. Last Friday, the Lubbock Cultural District held the March edition of the First Friday Art Trail. The progressive art event is held from 6 to 9 p.m. on the first Friday of every month, offering visitors a large selection of art experiences. One option on this month's trail was a performance by the Texas Tech's Pom Squad at the Louise Hopkins Underwood Center for the Arts. The team took over the plaza stage at 7 p.m. and performed a number of various styles, including tap, hip-hop, lyrical, and more. Pom Squad member Haley Scalabrine said this was a great opportunity to showcase their choreography to a different audience.
We put on some student choreographed pieces for the First Friday Art Trail. We were asked a few months ago if we wanted to come perform, and we've never done anything like this before, so it was really exciting for us.
Tech Pom wasn't the only entertainment at the March Art Trail. The outdoor plaza stage also featured the Pride of West Texas show chorus and a special Women's History Month performance by Aerial Atmosphere. The next edition of the First Friday Art Trail is scheduled for April 5th, and you can find all of the details for next month's event by visiting ffat.org.
Back here on campus, the events calendar has also been packed for weeks, and last week was no exception. But if you're one of the many students who have difficulty finding a balance between schoolwork and life outside of class, one professor recently offered some tips to master your schedule. Last Wednesday, the Student Enrichment Center hosted a TikTok time management workshop. Dr. Kamau Siwatu led the session to help students manage their time and offer tips on how to become a professional time manager. Siwatu is a professor of educational psychology, and he has studied the topic of time management for years. During the workshop, he talked about what has worked for him and showed students helpful tools and resources to use to help them get better managing their time.
One of the things that we know about successful learners is that they're able to manage their time effectively. And so today we talked about 4 strategies to help students to become more intentional about their use of time.
Last week's workshop focused on tools and strategies to help students master their time. Set smart goals, create a winning schedule, and say goodbye to stress. Attendees could also enjoy free refreshments and learn about future events taking place at the Student Enrichment Center.
Both the Texas Tech men's and women's basketball and track and field teams are getting ready for postseason action, while baseball and softball are just starting conference play.
Another full schedule of athletic action is on tap for the weekend, with the first competition set for tonight. MCTV's Nathan Boles joins us now in studio with all the details in sports. Nathan?
Thanks, Austin and Luke. Spring break might be coming up, but that doesn't mean the Texas Tech sports stop. From baseball to track to men's and women's basketball to softball, there's a lot going on before we get back. Let's start with baseball, who got a road win before they play Texas this weekend for the last time as Big 12 regular season opponents. The number 17 Red Raiders are on a 7-game winning streak after taking down New Mexico Tuesday in Albuquerque. They were up 7-0 early as the bats were hot, but they let New Mexico climb all the way back into it and take the lead 8-7 in the 5th inning. Then in the 6th inning, Dylan Maxey hit a 3 RBI double to put the Red Raiders back up 10-8, and they held on to get the 11-8 victory. Up next are the number 24 Longhorns. Texas swept the Red Raiders last year in Austin and got the Sunday victory in 2022 in Lubbock. However, as nobody knows when Tech may play Texas again, it's worth noting some of the most memorable Red Raider sports moments came just 2 years ago in the Friday and Saturday games against the Longhorns. And like that time, Tech is at home for all 3 games against UT. If you're not leaving quite yet, the first game Friday is at 6:30 p.m. at Dan Law Field at Rip Griffin Park. Of course, all the action will be on ESPN Plus as well. After Texas, Tech will stay at home for 2 midweek games against New Mexico State, and then next weekend they'll travel to Waco to play Baylor. Both men's and women's track and field will try to get a national championship starting tonight. The number 2 Texas Tech men and number 8 Texas Tech women are in Boston for the NCAA Indoor Championships. The first day is purely for the weight throw due to some quote unforeseen circumstances at the track at New Balance. The rest of the events will get going on Friday and Saturday. The sprints are leading the way for both teams as the women have 3 competitors in the 60 meters and the men have 5 participants, including Terrence Jones and Dondre Swint with the top 2 times in the country. Wes Kitley said the sprints will be very important to their chances this weekend.
Well, we're going to have everyone help us to win the national championship, but it starts right there. I mean, the 60 meters is unbelievably important to our success this weekend. And, I'd love to get all 5 of them in the finals, and if we do, we're going to start off really, really well. But that's our goal, is we've got to get a lot of people in the final in the 60 and then keep doing what we do in the other events.
Overall, it will be a busy weekend with a lot of chances to score and win individual national titles while also trying to help Tech to the team national title. The men won the outdoor national championship in 2019, but they haven't won an indoor national title before. You can see the schedule of Tech players on your screen. There is coverage Friday and Saturday on ESPN+, and you can also go to texastech.com to help you find the live results. A 3-hour replay will also air Monday night on ESPNU. Texas Tech men's basketball got a solid win Tuesday over Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Tech got the 75-58 win behind 19 points and 5 assists from Pop Isaacs. And Darian Williams wasn't far behind at all with 18 points and 9 rebounds, almost getting another double-double. It was Tech's 10th win in Big 12 play and 2nd straight road win after the wild rally over West Virginia last Saturday. The Red Raiders will be back home Saturday for the regular season finale. They'll play number 11 Baylor as both teams are looking to get a top 4 seed and double bye in the Big 12 championship. Tip-off Saturday is at 5 p.m. If the Red Raiders are not a top 4 seed for the Big 12 championship, they still get a single bye and will start in the 2nd round on Wednesday. If they get a top 4 seed, they will start in the quarterfinals Thursday. Start times will be determined after the regular season is over. Lady Raider basketball has had a rough skid with injuries as they've dropped 9 in a row. With the Big 12 tournament around the corner, Krista Gerlich knows there isn't a challenge this team hasn't seen.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like there's anything that this team hasn't gone through this year. So anything that is thrown at us from this point forward isn't going to be new. And so I think that piece of it is important because it teaches our kids that it didn't kill us, right? And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So we just continue to have to get back up, and that's the life lesson they're learning right now is you can get knocked down, but you can't stay down. You got to continue to get up, and I think that they're doing a good job of coming back to practice every day and coming back with a better mindset and coming back more unified, and every day they believe in us a little bit more.
The Lady Raiders will have to start in the 1st round tonight, but they get to play a team they've beaten twice this season. They beat Houston on the road in late December and in Lubbock in late January. Gerlich said those wins give this team confidence, something they need right now, although it is tough to be a team 3 times in a season. The Lady Raiders will try to do that at 5:30 tonight in Kansas City, and the game will be on ESPN+. Texas Tech softball is going to start Big 12 play just a little bit earlier than they expected. They're in Provo to play BYU, and the start time got moved up a little bit due to possible inclement weather Thursday and Friday. Tech is coming off a 4-1 weekend at home at the Janine McCaney Memorial Classic. All 4 wins were by run rule, and their only loss was 3-2 to UTEP. Tech will start at 4 p.m. against BYU today and 4 p.m. tomorrow. Saturday's game is still on schedule for 1 p.m., and today will be their first game against each other as Big 12 opponents and just their 4th meeting overall. The game will be on ESPN+. That's all for sports. Back to you, Austin and Luke.
Thanks, Nathan. Tech baseball and basketball will take over campus this Saturday afternoon and evening, but there's another local option on the schedule if you're wanting to fill some time before the games.
The Marshall Sharp Freeway ends right outside the southwest city limits in the community of Wolforth. And every Saturday, you can enjoy a unique shopping experience and help support the local area. Starting at 10 a.m., shoppers pack the Wolforth Farmers Market for a chance to see all the new items available and eat some festival-themed food to cure their shopping hunger. A food truck court welcomes visitors from all around to offer a break while shopping for a variety of goods. Vendors from all over the area set up their booths with handcrafted items available for sale. Options range from jewelry to knives, blankets to handmade foods, and much more at the year-round market.
My name is So Homespun. So over half of the booth I have done, sewed myself, and it's baby gifts and items.
The Wolforth Farmers Market continues to grow each year, bringing in thousands of area visitors. If you're looking for something to do on a Saturday or are in need of some unique products, you can stop by the Wolforth Farmers Market every week from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or visit wolforthfarmersmarket.com for more information.
So, Luke, are you staying around Lubbock for the spring break?
Oh no, like a chicken, I'm flying the coop. I'm going back to Austin, Texas. How about you?
I'm going to California, going to go to Disneyland with some of my little cousins. I'm very excited about that. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you after the spring break.